Hello and welcome to Casually Nerds. I'm Cloudos, and this is not the usual videos that I do, but it's called Casually Nerds, so this is just me geeking out. So today a friend of mine actually asked me whether there were any apps, I need to correct myself, whether there were any free apps that do attendance taking or inventory stock taking, the kind of thing where you could scan a barcode and beep, you got one in the system, one count, something like that. So most of these apps are actually not free because they are targeted to businesses, so they charge. Well, maybe there's a free app in somewhere in the pool, but I'm gonna show a method that I kind of discovered, which simply you only need to have Google Docs and a smartphone and internet access. So basically, this is not an app method. I'm just gonna disappear now and get ready to do it. Okay, so you want to open the browser and get to your Google Docs or Google Drive, and you want to create a new Google form. If you don't have the form, maybe you could find it by connecting more apps. But I have this form, so I'm going to create a form. Let's call this form attendance taking. Well, or whatever. Attendance taking. So, right. So we're going to have a new question. Not exactly a question, but form fields that we want to fill. So we don't want to have any options. It's kind of more of we would want a short answer like a text. Now this is the new version of the form, so the UI is a bit weird. If you have the old version of the form, I think there's a button or somewhere to get the new UI. But I'll just stick to this. But basically, in the old one, it would be called text. So you're gonna have a question, a simple, let's say maybe an ID, like or employment ID or something. So we're gonna have that. We're gonna add a new one, and maybe we call it name. I'm still kind of new to the new UI, so sorry. So you add from here. Oop, the vacuum cleaner is coming. Hang on a second. Okay, so I think you can still hear the vacuum, but I kind of closed the doors, all the doors. Anyway, I hope this mic is picking up my voice more than the whatever is going on outside. So I have an ID, I have a name. We could actually add more like phone numbers, but to keep things simple, I'm just going to use this. So I'm going to send this URL right here. Now there is a way to actually fill this form. You can see that if you press the three dots here, oh, you might not be able to see it. Here we go. There's this three dots beside the send. If you press this, the menu comes up and you get a get prefilled link. So once it will take you to another page basically, and what you can do is so you want to fill maybe your ID to be something unique. So let's say number 001. Let's say the person's name is Mario. Right. So you got this link. Let's just copy this and we put this into a notepad. Maybe not so big. a notepad. Right, so you can see that at the end of the URL there will be this entry, and there you got your 001, you got your Mario, something like that. So if we want to, let's add a few more players to the field. Luigi. Now let's just go with Toad. Nobody likes Luigi. Actually, well, I do kind of like Luigi. So, okay, so maybe just add one more tree, and let's call him Browser. Or is it Bowser? Bowser, Bowser, Browser. Oh well, let's have Boo instead. God, I'm bad with names. Right, so you can see that all the entry fields are kind of something like that. So basically, if I enter this form, enter this URL, let's say into a new tab, we're gonna enter this, it would basically load my form pre-populated with these fields. The thing is, it's not submitting, right? So here's the trick. The actual form, if you do a send, you can actually get the link of the form. This would be your actual form, right? At the end, you see is something like a view form, something like that, view form. So this is the view form. This is basically the default form with nothing filled. If you look into the code, rather, you will find somewhere eventually. Here you go. So I'm gonna just copy out this element. Copy selector. Wonder if it will work. No, copy out the element. Let's copy the outer HTML. This is gonna be big. Yep, this is gonna be big. So hang on a second. Right, we don't need all these. These are all the inner URL actually. What I'm looking for here is the form tag. So you can see form action, and then you see a form response. This is basically the submission method. So what you want to do is you have this form response instead of view form with the entry behind it. Okay, so there is kind of a little manual thing that you need to do, but yeah, but what this does, basically once you have the default URL, the front part, you can just, all the numbers are actually essentially the same for which field it is. So all you do is just fill this. You can just take one URL, plug into Excel and do some manipulation with the text method or concatenate method. So what you have is, now I have 3 URLs for entry. So if I simply enter this one URL right now, instead of view form, let me just exit the code. Instead of viewing form, I am going to get this attendance taking. That's the form name. Response have been recorded. So it's instantly submitting. Let's see, I have submitted Mario here. So if I come back to my form, as the form creator, I am able to see the screen. I can go to response, and there is one response with a Mario, right? So I can always what I can do is I can actually port this into a spreadsheet with the Google Sheet. That's this little green button here. So I could create a new spreadsheet, and this is going to go into my Google Docs, and you have something like that. And the timestamp is a default thing. Alright, I'm not sure if you could see it. Is it big enough? So you got my ID, you got my name, and the timestamp, as I mentioned, is a default thing. So what we could do to take this to a further level is to have a QR code generator. So you could go to Google and search any website. I actually just searched for this QR code generator and this thing came up. So what you could do is you could take the URL that I had and plug it in. So we have already submitted Mario. Let's submit a Boo, and this will generate the QR code. Now this is a lot of data. You can see it's kind of a big code, and because the URL is kind of long, so Google does have a URL shortening. It's called goo.go. Yes, goo.gl. If you go here, it'll bring you to the. This is actually public. It can be accessed by anyone. So if you paste your URL here, you shorten the URL, you get a little. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I have just removed all the responses so I can see this clearly again. So we did the URL shortening, and the URL would now become really short. If you put it back to the QR, which I did, you can see the code is much simpler. So this is kind of an optional method, but it would be better to shorten the URL. You get a simpler code, it would be clearer when you print it out. Yeah, because I don't think you want to print such a massive thing over like a name card or something. So okay, so this is my phone, which I'm going to show. It can scan the URL. So it's a mirror image of the phone. Okay, this is the real phone. You can see it's mirroring. So you would go to. I'm gonna use the mouse. I'm gonna disappear here. Disappear. So you can. It's on default. My camera. I think in any Android device it would be showing as such. Basically, if you view a QR code and your phone detects a QR code, you can see that there's this this thing that pops up, a QR code found, and the details will be there. Ooh. Phoneception. So you can, where was I? Yeah, you can click the view details. It would actually open what the details are, and the details is the URL. So if we continue to the website, it's basically going to enter the URL in your phone browser. So it's like entering the URL in your internet browser as well. So you can see that the attendance has been taken. Now if I go back to my response, there we go, we got one response and it's Boo. Now you got to take note that sometimes I don't know whether it's the phone setting or whether basically entering this URL into this shortener, it might actually populates the phone. So was what happened here just now, which is why I had to clear the form. It looks kind of freaky. So there you go. So we could also add another one. I haven't added Toad in, so let's add Toad. Let's shorten the URL. Let's get this new one, and let's paste this one. There's going to be another code. the shorten URL thing submits my form, so there's another entry here. Yeah, so you kind of want to shorten all your URLs first, then delete all responses, clear the form data. So simply, if I scan this code now, this is going to be the toad. Alright, so I'll go back to my camera. I scan this one, this URL looks like a different one. Looks like that one, yep. Continue to site, it's going to automatically submit. You're going to see another toad entry. And there we go. So yeah, I'm just going to delete. I think this shortening URL keeps submitting. So I'm just going to clear these responses. Okay, so basically you got yourself a simple attendance taking functionality without installing any apps. You just have to use Google Form. You just need to alter the URL a bit and put it into a QR code generator. You can have this QR code on your name tag, business card, whatever, you know. The person who all you need is to have somebody who's taking attendance, right? So all that person needs is a smartphone with internet access. Just go scanning all the QR codes of people who are coming in. You got a form submitted. You can see the responses in the sheet. And if you want to create a new sheet, like, you know, you're done for today, you want to take another attendance for tomorrow, it's going to be a new one. You could basically go to these 3 dots. You can unlink the form and you can, well, basically create a new spreadsheet. You can and you got another form for another day. So you could keep reusing the same form for different days. So that's it. Something I kind of gloss over and geek out about. So if this is helpful or you think this is interesting, give this video a like, and I'll see you in another video for something else maybe. If you do like to see more of this kind of videos, like tutorials or whatever, or you have a question that you know that I might find interest in to geek out about, you can put it down in the comments below. So I thank you all for watching and have a great day, and bye bye.